Hi everyone, Kim here, Abundant Life Tarot. Welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I am recording this on the first day of autumn and I was like, oh, I want to chit chat with you all. And I'm hoping that we can, continue the conversation down in the comment section on what decks do you plan to work with this season. Now, I have to be the first to say that I have always my go-to decks, my working decks throughout the year. It doesn't matter what season. But every now and then I do get called to work and study some of my decks a little bit more than what I would normally do, like throughout the year. And that could be because I'm inspired by the deck's color palette or the emotions or feels that deck invokes in me when I work with that deck. Like, when we think about autumn, we're thinking about going into a time of cocooning and then, embarking on winter time with, really settling into a hibernation phase. And so to me, if there's decks that lend itself to a feel of the season of autumn or the feels of what I associate with fall or autumn, then I'm inclined to say, okay, let me explore this deck a bit further. And now that I live in a tropical environment where the climate pretty much stays the same, it will start to get cooler, so there will be seasonal changes, but not much changes in the way of the seasons, whereas where I was from in Northern California, it was a marked difference. The leaves are changing from green to yellow and then orange and red and then falling off, right? There's a different smell in the air when autumn is upon us. And so I am just, missing that seasonal change from time to time, and how I'm able to bring a little bit of that home with me and bring it to me is through my decks. And so yeah, I'm curious to hear what decks you are planning to work with this season. Do you work with your decks seasonally? Let me know down in the comments section below. All right, I'm gonna start sharing with you. So let's talk about my number one, and that would be the Hoodoo Tarot. Okay. This deck is by Tiana Lee McQuiller, artwork by Caitlin B. Foisey. I've had this deck for a while, and many of you know that because you were part of the Hoodoo Tarot study in our private Facebook group, Abundant Life Tarot group on Facebook. And we had a deep dive together with this deck. So I love it to pieces. For a while, I was only using it for a specific purpose, which was to communicate with, to use it as a tool for communication with my ancestors. But lately, I've just been working with it, giving it a different kind of question to ponder with, So I have been exploring working with this deck in different ways, but let me tell you why I feel like it's a great one for me for autumn. So here are the card backs. This is mass market. You can easily get it. Comes in a great box. I don't have the boxes on the shelf, but if you've been around on my channel, you've seen me show the box many a times. But here's 3 of Knives, okay? Doesn't that have a palette that lends itself to autumn? That in and of itself is something that draws me in. And I believe that when we did the revisit of the Hoodoo Tarot study, it was during autumn, I believe. I can't quite recall, but I felt like it was a great time to explore this deck. Not only that, remember how I was saying earlier that there are some decks that just evoke a sense of what I associate with autumn, and there's a coming home feel. You know how? Okay, here's a moment when I would walk home from school growing up, and it's like the first or second day of autumn, and my mom would make an amazing chicken and vegetable tomato like soup, and it was like, that is something I associate with autumn. It's like coming home and being in the warmth of that home and still kind of enjoying all that's around me, all the beauty as I walk home from school, for example. This deck to me is like coming home. Okay, Miss Ida. This is traditionally the High Priestess. I might have to pause. They're selling, I don't know what they're selling, but they have a loudspeaker and a truck that goes around through the neighborhood, and it's like, whoa. Aunt Carolyn. Okay, this is traditionally the Wheel of Fortune. If you ever wanted to do a deep study with this deck, I think I have a playlist for this deck, but if not, I will make one. If I check after I record this video and I don't see one, I will set up a playlist just for the Hoodoo Tarot Study videos. Otherwise, the ALT Tarot Study playlist has a bunch of videos that people still watch to this day, still leave comments from time to time about what I've done with this deck. Son of Sticks, like the exploration, the deep dives into the majors. So check it out, check it out. So I'm gonna for sure be working with this deck. Now here's the thing. I work with this deck often. Not often like every day, but from work for myself, and the spirit work that I do, I consult with it at those times. But my hope is to engage with this deck a bit further and incorporate it in all types of readings, okay? So not all types, you know what I mean? But just branch out with my work with the deck. All right, let's move on to the next one. Number 2. This is an oracle deck, and it just makes sense to discuss this one next following the Hoodoo Tarot. This is the Sibyls Oraculum, Oracle of the Black Doves of Africa, also by Tiana Lee McQuiller, artwork by Caitlin V. Foisey. I love working with this deck. It also has a beautiful box. I love working with this deck with the Hoodoo Tarot. I find that the readings just are spot on. They just work together. Obviously, they work together because they're by the same creator and artist. But more importantly, I just feel like they just talk with each other. Can I use this deck as a standalone? I sure can. Here's the card backs. But do I typically use it with the Hoodoo Tarot? Yes. Could I use the Hoodoo Tarot by itself? Of course. Do I use it with other oracles? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I use it with my own decks that I've created. You know, so there's that. Now what's interesting about, there's a Hoodoo Tarot card. That lets you know I used it together. Is there any others? I don't think so. I used it with the Hoodoo like maybe a week ago. The card back colors, you probably can't see it on film, but they're different, and that's because they are suits. The way the creator, Tiana, created this deck, there's like suits. Sometimes I pay attention to those suits, and other times I just read the cards as they are. Let me show you some of them here. So here, like I said, here's the card backs. Same size? No, it's not the same size. Here's the tarot, and here's the oracle. Slightly bigger, but here's transformation. It's got this old world feel to it, layered and textured, and the warm tones lends itself to a great autumn deck, in my opinion. That is abandonment. We have wisdom, lust, and the guidebook is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Contentment, Confusion. I love the Confusion card. Disguise. Synthesis. And I didn't mention it in the intro or until now, but I did do videos like my 11 deck recommendations for autumn or for the season of fall. And I made that last year in 2022, and I will link it. I'll link both videos because I made 11 decks for Tarot, 11 decks for Oracle, and they're 2 separate videos. I'll be sure to link them in the description box so you can check them out. I still have those decks that I recommended. So there's that. But I felt like I wanted to do a specific video today about the decks I'm intentionally planning on working with. Look at that. This autumn. This detachment. Isn't that glorious? It's just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Questioning. And I love the keywords. For Oracle decks to catch my attention nowadays, they have to have keywords that are unique, original, that really spark something inside of me. Because there's so many Oracle decks out there that have the same keywords over and over and over again. And after a while, you kind of be like, okay, I can take only, you know, so many cards that mean, I don't know, love or friendship, you know. So, I like accumulation. Just cool. We have gradual progress. Analysis. Mirror. Complexity. And it's important with this particular deck, I think, to work with a guidebook because she also offers journal prompts in both the Hoodoo Tarot guidebook as well as, I believe, here. Yes. The Sibyls Oraculum also has great ways to work with the cards. Here's Death. So, yeah. Oh, I love Transcendence. So that's the Sibyls Oraculum. And I actually am very much looking forward to working with this deck. Okay, so next up is the Transient Light Tarot by Ari Weisner. And this is the 81 card deck and guidebook. There you go. It's Hay House. There was an indie version. I didn't get the indie version. I'm starting to just kind of make peace with the fact that I'm not going to always get the indie versions. I used to be the one who would have the indie version before the mass market, and now I'm kind of like, and it makes me feel actually more inclined to get the mass market because I know, like, if I really fall in love with that deck and I beat it up, I don't feel so bad. Whereas if it's an indie deck, I might feel like, oh no, I done tore it up. But yeah, I want to work with the Transient Light Tarot. Let's see. Let me see, do I have this? Yes. Let me show you. So this deck comes with these cards here, which is interesting. So you can make like a little spread. You have your past, present, future. I believe I have an unboxing, an unboxing video for this deck. So check it out if you want a full flip through. And any pertinent links that I discussed today that I think you would enjoy, I will be sure to link in the description box. So here are the card backs. Love that beautiful blue, deep, deep night blue, like with the brown and greens. It's like a, I don't know, olive color. Oh, there's Death. Sometimes I just long for almost simplistic artwork and simplistic symbols in my cards when I'm doing readings. I don't know. And this fits the bill for me. Every time I work with this particular deck, the readings are always spot on. I don't know why I don't grab it much, but I do intend on working with it this autumn. Obviously, the color palette is lending itself to autumn or fall time. But I just feel like, you know, remember I was talking about that sense of home and nostalgia and, you know, and just feeling the warmth around you, the warmth of the soup, you know, going, you know, as you swallow it, the warmth of love, self-love and love coming to you and from you. That is what I feel for autumn. I guess there is a part of like harvest as well, you know, there's that aspect of autumn. So I'll show you some decks in a moment that kind of lends itself to that meaning for me when I think of fall. So yeah, if you want to see a full flip through of this deck, I will link in the description box. I believe it's an unboxing and not a deck review, I believe. And it comes with, in this box, comes with a, you know, it's Hay House, so it's got your standard little guidebook. But it's a good guidebook. I mean, it's, you know, it's a guidebook. you can work with this. And yeah, honestly, some people would probably say that this deck would maybe be for an intermediate reader, but I could see this being a beginner-friendly deck. And I will say this, any decks from here on out that I identify that I feel like are beginner-friendly, I'll be sure to mention it because I know that can be important to those who are watching this channel. Or if people want to know, is this intermediate or advanced? I'll try to be mindful and remember to say what I think. For example, like the Hoodoo and the Sibyls Oraculum, I would think that would be more intermediate or advanced. But I am that one, like some of us, where I don't care if you tell me that the deck is for advanced and I'm new and I feel a call to work with the deck, I'm just going to dive in. So just because somebody says it's beginner friendly, seasoned folk, don't think that you can't get anything from it. Likewise, if you're a beginner and someone says, oh, well, this is for advanced readers, don't be afraid to try it out, you know, take it with a grain of salt. All right, let's move on to the next deck. I am so excited to get into this next deck. I was really excited when I got it. So yay for autumn being here and inspiring me to work with it. This is the Black Tarot, and it's an Ancestral Awakening deck and guidebook by Nyasha Williams. And it's also mass market. Many of the decks so far that I've talked to you about are mass market, so you can get your hands on them. This one's really surprised me. I do enjoy doing readings. I've done a couple of client readings with it, love readings in fact, but most of the time I was doing readings for myself with it. Check out the, I think I have 1 or 2 videos, check those out. But I'll put at least one of them in the description. Maybe the walkthrough of this deck I'll put in the description box. But I really, 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 really like it. Here's the guidebook. I mean, this is a great guidebook. The creator really did a good job. It's kind of hard to believe that this deck is a mass market. And I love what I saw just online so much that I had to get the Ancestral Illumination, a guided journal for Black Tarot. I had to get that as well. I'm taking my time working with this deck, or working with this book, this journal, with this deck in conjunction. You could use a different deck for this journal, but I'm like, no, I'm personally gonna use this deck. Color palette giving me fall. Look at that. Is that like almost like a chartreuse, a dark chartreuse? That rich eggplanty color right here on the sides, the moon phases, this burnt orange, totally giving me autumn feels. Like I said at the beginning, I will use decks year round, but every now and then, there's just like, I am still in the market for like great wintry decks. And what's funny is on my channel, I've done videos for like my top recommendations for spring decks and for summer decks and obviously for autumn decks. But I haven't done it for winter decks. There's a noticeable gap there. And I'm looking for your recommendations. Some people have given me recommendations. I just haven't gotten around yet to really vetting the decks to see if they're the ones that need to come to the collection. But I would like at least one good nostalgia kind of Christmassy deck. Yeah, so here's the Hanged Man. Let me show you the card backs. Isn't it gorgeous? I won't do all of the cards because, like I said, I did a very deep walkthrough of this deck on the channel when I got it. So that's the 2 of coins. There's the 3 of coins. 9 of baskets. So beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love it. Love this color palette. So modern, so fresh, so warm. This is the 5 of coins. There's the 8 of wands. Yeah, just look at the Ace of baskets. It's really great, like cardstock. You're not going to, here's the moon. You're not going to bang this deck up, in my opinion. You could use this. It just really surprised me with, here's the Mother of Wands, Queen of Wands, how much excellence came into this deck and its mass market. Normally we tend to associate beautiful quality decks, collectors type decks with indie. But I'm telling you, if you don't know about this deck, if you're sleeping on this deck, you might want to reconsider. Like, that's all I'm going to say. The readings are always spot on, whether I was doing readings for clients or doing readings for myself. And this journal is wonderful, but you don't have to get the journal right away. You can get both on Amazon or any major site that sells decks and books. The guidebook that comes with the deck is enough. Okay. Here's 8 of knives, traditionally 8 of swords. Can you see the little knives there on her back? Maybe you can, maybe you can't. It's kind of hard to see it. Here's 10 of knives. So yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous deck. Here's the High Priestess. And I may even use it tonight. Just for fortune. So yeah, it's a great deck. Is it beginner friendly? I would say beginners certainly could be able to read intuitively with it. If they studied the guidebook, it would be a good idea. I think intermediate and advanced readers would really enjoy it. And that's what I would say about that. Like I said before though, if you feel called as a beginner to check it out, check it out. The guidebook, I'm telling you, like, you will get a lot from it. She did not skip out on details, and so I appreciate that. Let's move on to the next deck. So this one is new to my collection. I have not done an unboxing. I will be doing a review. I decided I wanted to actually work with this deck for a while before I share it with you all, because I want to know how I'm working with it. I have been working with it consistently since it came into my collection. Now it's been about almost 2 weeks it's come into my collection, but I've really been enjoying it and I want to get to know it a bit better. And I figure I'll just show you some of the cards. If some of you are interested for a review of this deck, leave a comment down below so I know you're interested. Otherwise, I'll just take my time in reviewing it. It is the Unfolding Path Tarot by Athene Noctua, a 78 card deck and guidebook. There is also an indie version. I'm happy I got the mass market, you know. For me, now that I live on an island and I'm always stressing out about decks getting here, most decks have made it. There's only been like 1 or 2 that have not made it. I guess, you know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not that many, but it's many enough where I'm like, oh, I don't want to make a huge investment in a deck and then it's lost and that's it. You know what I mean? So I am so happy I got this deck. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Hay House did a very good job in my opinion. I'm going to show you why I'm called to work with it. Now, this deck to me is a multi-season deck. And I say that because look at the card backs. That could be spring, summer, even this cool blue. It could be winter. But because it's coming to my collection late summer, I just feel like I could work with it in this time because I want to. This is a deck I genuinely want to get to know better. It's actually giving a run for the money for my light seers. And if you have been with me for a while, you know how much I love the light seers. But I have been really appreciating this deck. Let me show you some of the Pentacle suit because for me, I associate the Pentacles with the season of autumn. Some people associate Pentacles with the season of winter. For me, Pentacles represents the season of autumn, the timing of years. It is the slowest moving energy for, you know, as it relates in tarot. And so, yeah. But this one feels, the Pentacle suit in this deck feels very autumny. That's not a word, but I'm making it a word to me. So here is the Nine of Pentacles. This, I can't wait to do a review and discuss like the different things about this deck. For example, as opposed to what we know traditionally for the Nine of Pentacles or Nine of Coins, because she doesn't say Pentacles on here, so you can just be Nine of Coins, Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Earth, you know. But there's a gentleman here versus a woman. So I like that. Let me just show you the Tower. I really love that perspective of the Tower. I love that. Here's the Ten of Cups. Here's the Hermit. But let me get into why I'm really called to work with it this autumn. Here is the Three of Earth. Three of Coins. Look at the Beekeeper. I just love when beekeepers are depicted in decks. I don't know why. I don't know. I just love it. And I think this is perfect. So this, it doesn't, with the apple orchard, doesn't that give you a sense of autumn? When I was out growing up in the San Francisco Bay Area, I grew up in Oakland. And there would be apple trees everywhere. And this would be the time of year you're going to get your little apples. And so it would be apple, like we had trees everywhere. Oakland has its name for a purpose. It's because it was, you know, like what do they call it? Oak trees growing and all sorts of trees. And apple trees were something that I definitely associated with the season of autumn. Here's the Three of Swords. I don't know how I feel about this Three of Swords, you know, but hey, I still really love this deck. Here's the Page of Pentacles, Page of Coins. See that warm palette. Let me see what else. I love this Death card. Death representing the season or the astrological sign of Scorpio, which is in autumn. So this works. Here's the 10. So yeah, that is the unfolding path. And so like I said, if you all want my take on the deck, like going through the cards and what I think about them, there's some things that I was like, I don't know. But I can see where the creator was going. So for me, it's gonna still work quite well in a reading. It has. I've been working with it a lot with client readings. Since I got it, it was almost like I didn't waste no time. Again, it has a little guidebook. But if you want me to do a review, let me know, and I'll put that on my little short list of videos to record for the channel. Because some people, you know, want just a flip through. They just want to see like a quick 5 to 10 minute video of the cards being flipped through, all 78. Some folks want people's take or perspective on the cards or on the deck. I tend to be in the camp, my content in terms of like videos on decks tends to be in the latter, where I am going through card by card, discussing different things and different aspects of the card, how I would work with it, what keywords really stand out to me, etc. That's how I usually roll. I don't usually do the quick flip throughs. I appreciate the quick flip throughs as someone who purchases decks, because I'll watch those plus other people's reviews or unboxings of the deck. But you know, as a creator, I like the more meandering conversation about it. So let me know what you would like to see with regards to that. There's no shortage of deck unboxings or quick flip throughs of this deck, both the indie and the mass market. So that's why I wasn't feeling pressed to record something, and I'm starting to want to get more into more of like deck and focus. I used to have a series called that. That's more like my deck reviews than just unboxings. I want to be able to work with the deck for a little while so I could say how I've been working with it and make some recommendations. Or if there's something a bit challenging about the deck, I want to be able to offer a tip or two for people who are working with the deck to navigate. So I'm being called more to do like review styles versus just unboxings, my first impressions. Those are fun for me to create, but I don't know. I just feel like for my channel now, my channel has grown to a point where I just want to actually do more of a review than it is just an unboxing. Does that make sense? I hope so. Alright, so next up is an oracle. This is one of those ones that I would use multiple seasons, but I'm called to use it this season, autumn. It is Oracle of the Essences. This deck, this is an indie version. I don't know if there's a mass market. I do believe it's still in print. I'm not 100% sure. I had to order it from Australia, I believe. It's 56 full color cards. The creator is Monica the Enchantress. Let me see if she has a last name. She just says Monica the Enchantress on here, but I'll see if the guidebook has anything. I was called to work with this deck because I've been working with it with the Unfolding Path Tarot. Let me see. Monica Finazzo. Got little spreads. This is a great little guidebook, super handy. I have thoroughly been enjoying how this deck talks so well, this one, with the Unfolding Path. Look at that, little floral patterns on the back. Now this could be springtime, this could be summertime. I don't know about winter. It could be winter. You could use the deck all year round, but for me, I'm gonna say that this is what I was talking about when I think of harvest time. This deck, this is the one. Herb Crafter's Tarot is also like that for me. I could use it all year round, but it tends to lend itself to, like, for me, spring, summer, and fall. There are some wintry cards in the Herb Crafters, but yeah, this reminds me of late summer, early autumn. This color palette. It's got keywords. It's got, you know, the essence, Litzia. It says expectations and empathy. Rosemary, evolution and movement. Tangerine, gratitude, charisma. She's got apples that are falling out of her basket. You know. Blue tansy, imagination, elasticity. Winter green, natural instincts, surrender. So this is a wintry card, or, you know, cool weather card. Basil, relief, rejuvenation. I'm pretty sure I have an unboxing of this one. Wild orange, opportunities, abundance. Vetiver, concentration, grounding. Let's see. Got patchouli in here. Clove, determination, empowerment. Let's see if I have any other favorite ones. Myrrh, compassion, belonging. Juniper berry, mirrors, awareness. Lime, entertainment, delight. This looks like a beautiful autumn day in the tropics. Hey. Cypress, adaptability, impeccability. Let me see if there's any others I want to share with you. Frankincense, rebirth, repair. Love the artwork. Love the full bleed. And it's got gold gilding that I haven't quite beat up. Because I use this deck like standalone readings or with the Herb Crafters or with other Oracle decks. So it's a great all-rounder kind of Oracle. Jasmine. Final, fertility. Let's see. Let me see. Douglas fir, respect and wisdom. And oregano, clarity, experience, protection. And then cassia, strength, confidence. I'll stop there because you could do a full flip through and run through all the cards, right? Do a full flip through. So yeah. That is the Oracle of the Essences that I do happen to use with the Unfolding Path Tarot. Although most of the time, the oracles that I use as my working oracles are my oracles that I've created, some of which are for sale. The link is in the description box. Also, I think I'll start putting in the playlist of the decks that I have actually created. So you can, I have a playlist, I just don't know if you all know it. So I'll start making sure I add the playlist in the description box so you can check it out if you're interested, if you're curious. But yeah, that's it. And then one other thing I want to mention is that I have a Kickstarter that's coming that I will definitely be working with and getting to know better once it arrives here. I think it's going to arrive here in like mid-autumn. I think they're going to be shipping like next week, I heard. Yay. And it's the Boudica. I can never pronounce it because I always want to pronounce it Bodicea or Bodicea, but that's not the correct way. Boudica's Earthly Tarot Delights. Anyways. That deck is on its way, and so that's an honorable mention. That one for sure will probably get an unboxing because I've been waiting for it for a long time. Not just for it to be created and not just for it to land on Kickstarter. No, I've been working with the app for years and always wishing that that deck would become a actual in your hands one. And now that it is, I have to be that giddy kid like on Christmas, like sharing my delight with you. So that will be coming up. But other than that, these are the decks. Aside from my usual ones that I work with on a consistent basis in my professional readings, these are the ones I'm going to be digging into. So don't forget to let me know. Let me know in the comment section below what decks you plan on working with. Even if you don't do seasonally, what decks are you working with now and you plan to for at least the next few months to just deep dive into them? I want to hear from you. Do me a favor on your way out. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. I'd love for you to join me on this little journey we call life. But yeah, let me also know in the comment section what kind of content you'd like to see from me going forward. I always love to hear from my subscribers, my viewers. You all rock, and you always bring forth some great information, insights, tips, all the things, recommendations. You just are the best. So don't be shy. Let me know how you're feeling, how you're doing in the comment section. All right, my friends, happy fall, happy autumn. It's here. And I haven't forgotten about my peeps in the Southern Hemisphere. Well, you know, you're embarking on spring. That's exciting. Happy spring. Like, let's get into this new season. All right, friends, take care of yourselves. Much, much love to all of you. Bye for now.